Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Make a Move Season 1, Episode 9. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. So, I would like to ask for three curse words limit, or if I could just get allowed those. I don't plan on using all three. If it makes you feel any better, I just need it on the board just in case I decide to use it. If you cannot tell by the tone of my voice, I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of this show. They don't need to do a reunion. They can just go ahead and go on off after episode 10. I really hope that is the plan. They really haven't done anything worthy of a reunion. I'm not sure if they plan on having one, but it's just enough. It's just enough. I've had enough, y'all. But anyway, allow me the three cuss words in the future. Now, this for all people, really, but if we talk about black people specifically, I really want us to stop doing dating shows. I want us to stop doing shows about relationships, podcasts, all of it. Instead, let's have nothing but shows and boot camps around healing your childhood trauma in group therapy or individual. And every time you open your mouth to blame the opposite sex as the source of everything that is wrong with you, a clown come out the back and slap the fire out of you, then disappear just as fast as they came as a form of cognitive behavioral therapy. We'll do some conditioning around there. Let's do that. I would love to see that. I would love to be on it. Hell. But anyway, let's get to the review. Ike, why is he here? Why is he here, Ike? What is he doing here? I was really confused as to why him and Vernisha were meeting up. I think it's so they can gain clarity. Well, Vernisha to gain clarity that Menzel was not really trying to be a player. Like, even though he got eliminated, yeah, they still could have went out. He just wasn't sure how to move. Speaking of move, the name of the show is called Make a Move. Not Ready to Love. You don't get to make no moves around here, baby. You don't get to make no decisions. See, that's why you thought that you could ask Vernisha out and ask Sharice out as a guest of Sharice's on the show, because you thought this was Ready to Love. On Ready to Love, yes, you get to go around choosing 3, 4, 5 women, getting a connection with all of them, narrowing it down to 2 or 3 up until it's almost time for the end of the show, telling both of them you confused, and then at the very end, pick one of those women, play around with them on Instagram Live for a couple of weeks, go to the reunion with them, and then break up with them the following week, or break up with them the week before the reunion, either one. You're used to those kind of behaviors. Well, this ain't Ready to Love, baby. You don't get to ask all the women out on the show. Somebody tell him what show it is. And even if you went on Ready to Love, you still would have got sent home because they are ageist over there and they don't like to keep nobody past 50 on that show. So you still would have got sent home either way, baby. So, well, pick your poison. But you don't get to come around here and play these games. So Vernisha is just like, nah, you can't play no player now. So she asked him, do he even still like Sharice? And he was like, yeah, I actually would like to go out with Sharice if you could give it a word that I was thinking about. And Vernisha was like, you know what, I will. I said, Vernisha, I wouldn't tell Sharice nothing, but you don't want to look like no hater. So go ahead and tell her, Menzel, you got some nerve talking about it. And I'm a Southern gentleman and all of this other stuff, because Vernisha said she was dating and he wants to say that she probably met a really nice guy because they some Southern gentlemen and this is a lost art. It's not a lost art. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it is a lost art. It's lost amongst you as well because you don't have it either. And that Southern gentleman thing used to be true maybe about 5-10 years ago. But now, whether you go north, whether you go south, whether you go east, whether you go west, you're going to run into the same problems. All right? Just different climate. Shut up, Menzel. Yes, baby. Shout out to Mute Mouth Maurice. Boy, you better do it. What did Maurice tell us the day he got eliminated? He said she'll be back. And would you look at here? Maurice, I got to give, if I was standing in front of you right now, I'd dap you up. I would, because I got to give you your props. I got to give you credit where credit is due. I think you saw who Sharice was. You knew what you could get out of her based on what you have, and it didn't matter what was coming out of her mouth. You didn't get chose that day, but you knew she was going to come back. Now, granted, Maurice has been calling her and all of that, but Sharice wasn't never going to not stop taking that man's phone calls. Why? Because Maurice got that bankroll. She was noting everything he had on from the moment she met him. So they sit down and Maurice is like, you know, we got a good connection. We can sit all day and talk about absolutely nothing. I said, yes, Maurice. The irony of you saying that, yes, you can. And he was like, and I know that's a problem. So he know. And he said that now he feels like he can talk to Sharice more, get her to let her guard down. We can have more conversation. I think it's time that I can start letting Sharice in a little bit more and start talking more to her about things. So instead of just talking about Monday, now Maurice is going to open up and he's going to start talking about Tuesday as well, and maybe throw in Wednesday for good measure. Sharice is just like, okay. So then he starts describing who he thinks Sharice is. She's charismatic. She's beautiful both inside and out. And of course, she's a great businesswoman. She knows what she wants. Sharice is like, you described me very well. I bet. I bet he did it with some Gucci in hand. Oh, Sharice probably just ching, 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 ching. She probably calculating everything she want to do. I want to go to Bali. I want to get a Louis Vuitton purse. I also want some Louis Vuitton luggage. If she don't have the stuff already, she might already have it. But this is the perfect person for her. He looks good. He looks good on paper. He got his finances together. His kids are grown. So what, he a mute mouth? So what, he not finna be the life of the party? He just gonna sit around there with that juicy mouth and smile, and that's all Sharice needs. Go on, girl. And this is where I needed my cuss words, y'all. This is where I needed my cuss words, because I know you damn lying. I'm not even done watching the show, and I know that Ashley is about to disappoint me. I'm not even finished watching, and I know she is about to disappoint me. So let's talk about what happened. Ashley come in, she got a bouquet of roses from Kirsten. She get there, Kirsten has another bouquet of roses. Kirsten gives her a card describing all of these beautiful things about her, all the things he likes about her, and how much he appreciates her. Ashley is smitten. She can't believe Kirsten is finally showing up the way you want her to. Why can't we believe it, ladies? Like, why can't we know how this goes? You tell a man you don't want him. Well, I used to say this to my friends. Tell a man you don't want him and watch him do all the extra work to try to get you. Just tell him you don't want him no more. It's game playing at its finest, and it's really childish. But for whatever reason, it does happen more often than not. They start trying harder when you say no. Whatever. So Kirsten is, no exception to this rule. But the difference is Ashley has been down this road before, number one. And number two, Kirsten has shown himself to be somebody that has come onto the show to market himself seemingly for some other woman. And then y'all just got into a very ugly tiff a couple of episodes ago where you got completely out of character, Ashley. So why? I'm so, anybody that takes me that far out of my character, we ain't, it ain't nothing we probably about to do. I mean, because it's just, especially as a grown woman, like when I was young, honey, I came out of character all the time. But as a grown, we in our 30s now, you doing all of that. And then she all piped up over these roses. He ain't even buy no damn vase. That's what really costs the money when you get the flowers with the vase in it. The vase is what costs. He coming in here with them flowers wrapped. For all we know, he could have got them from H-E-B. Sometimes the roses at H-E-B, they range. Sometimes you can find a little bouquet for $18, and then sometimes they $30, sometimes they $50. It just depends on the type of roses that you get. But my point is, he didn't give you no vase to put them flowers in. Y'all know how I am about a vase. Okay, y'all ask my homegirls about me. I always get a vase with the flowers in it. Honey, I treat my women well. Way better than some of y'all men do. Y'all women. Y'all better be glad God did not let me roll up in here with some gonads, so else all y'all girls will be taken. But anyway, let me stay on subject. Ashley tells Kirsten, you scare me because, you're like a lot of the guys I've dated before. I said, ding, 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 ding. That's what we've been trying to tell you, Ashley. She asked him what took him so long to show up, and he talked about, you know the saying, you don't miss what you don't. He don't even know the saying. He don't even know the saying. Ashley got to finish it for him. I said, and you're going to be finishing it for him for a long time. If you go back into this, if you make this decision, Ashley, we were rooting for you. You better not do it. He reminds me so much of old bird flu, swine flu, whatever kind of flu that was that Alex got. That's what he reminds me of Alex. They act like very similar people, except for Alex was a little bit more, he was a little more humble. Okay, Kirsten is a little bit more cocky. And then he gonna say, I don't really require much. Anybody that tell you they don't require much requires a lot. Man or woman. As soon as it come out their mouth, I don't really want much. They want everything. just keep that in mind. But I'm just looking at Ashley like, do not fall for this. Fine. If you want to let them do the work, let them do the work. But don't be so quick to swoon and to fall into something. Honey, I would have looked at them flowers and said, oh, thank you. Thank you. Did you get a vase? Oh, thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you for this card. It's so sweet. And then I would have remained quiet and just let them talk. Because honestly, if you look at how they interacted, he really didn't have much to say. She was doing a lot of the talking, but just, oh my God, my girls. My girls. Oh my gosh, the date between Richard and Zia was funny. I just was laughing the entire date. So, first of all, Zia gonna make sure she get these fits off. She got on gloves in the confessionals and a bejeweled outfit, and then when she comes on the date, y'all, she got on a leather outfit. Now, I don't know the temperature in New Orleans, but it looks quite warm based on what everybody else has on. But Zia said, you know what, we gonna get these DC fits off. So she comes in there. Richard shows up. Richard, they didn't even make it past the mixer on the first episode because maybe it was too serious for her with Richard as far as his conversation. And nothing has changed. But because they're one-on-one, they actually do get in a little bit of back and forth banter, a little bit of laughter. She was laughing at him at times instead of with him. And he kind of rolled with it anyway. I think he kind of knew. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting deep on a date. I actually don't mind it. But I think with Richard, he was kind of going into principal mode. And then anybody hear it, he would be like, you would be surprised. I almost felt like, you youngsters today don't read like you used to. That's what it felt like. But it's a lot of principals in New Orleans, a lot of educators, a lot of principals. They must pay better out there or something, because just about every guy on here is involved in education somehow. But Zia was like, yeah, when I first met you, you immediately asked me how long I had been single, or when was my last relationship. And he was like, I'm ready for my wife. That's why I was asking questions like that. I was ready to marry you. I'm ready to dive in. I'm real intentional. So it's actually good. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's ready for. So that part is really good. I personally don't think Zia is ready for marriage. I don't care what she says. I don't think Zia is ready. And that's why she moves the way that she moves. But it was so funny, though, just the way he explained it. Like, shoot, I don't mince words. I'm ready for mine. He said he had been thinking about her. He was like, oh, that chocolate. I don't know. I just can't get myself together. So that was funny, too. And Zia was laughing. It was like, you better control yourself. I don't know. The two of them just was making me laugh. I don't know if they're compatible either, but I wouldn't mind seeing Zia go out with him again, especially since Cam is begging and pleading to go in so many words. He won't just stand up and say, I'm leaving, because he just don't have a heart. He don't have the heart, or rather I say he doesn't have the courage. But according to the Cowardly Lion, they're both the same thing. And I don't think he is going to walk away, and I don't think Zia is going to release him, although I know she should. But Cam, we stripping you of your nice guy persona. You now will be getting either you're going to get weak guy or you're going to get same guy, one or the other, because you pulling the same antics that any other guy would. Instead of saying, I don't want to be here no more and I'm leaving, you hemming and hawing and want somebody to let you go so you don't look like the bad guy. But to me, you the bad guy anyway. You just in a different suit. But y'all don't get me started on that again. But I will say I would like to see her and Richard go out again. I know it's kind of late in the game, but I feel like Zia could help him loosen up a little bit. And then he could probably tap into the more serious side of her, because I would love to see that as well. I know she has it, but these two are funny. When she was like, I am a job now. He was like, oh, you a job? And she said, yeah. He said, well, do we get paid? She said, you don't get paid, but you get something. You get paid in so many ways. He was like, well, shoot, I want the job then. When I get started. That part was funny. He did make a good point, though, about There's not a lot of people who will be self-aware, who will pick up a book and try to learn more about themselves. I used to think that was a lie, that people really were self-aware and that people really were trying. But the more and more people I meet, no, not really. It's actually true. And as much slack as I give the guys on here, I think women are like that as well. Like, they don't really... It used to be a time where I felt like we wanted to learn more about themselves, and maybe it's just in response to the climate, but I do meet a lot of women who are just like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not improving nothing. I'm not changing nothing. But I will always say self-improvement is not so that you can get a man. It's not so that you can get a woman. Those things might come, but you have to want to improve yourself for you. You have to want to do better for you and the things that are around you, you know, the abundance that you want around you. My improvements, I had to make up in my mind were for me, because if you do it for the sake of getting a man or for getting a woman and those things don't come the way you thought they would, you'll end up bitter about it. So you always have to do it for you, for yourself. And, you know, that's why I want to be healthier in mind and body and all of that. So, yeah, he did make a good point there. He actually, by some of his conversation and some of the things that he said when he was like, dating is not an interview, I knew that he also was on the microphones. Like, I don't feel like he owns one, but I feel like he listens to those microphones from time to time. But he counts himself different because he don't agree with everything. He just listen from time to time just to hear people's perspective, just to hear a different opinion. He don't agree. Okay, y'all ever went on a date with one of them? I don't agree with none of that. I know, I listen to them guys though from time to time, you know, because I just want to hear like a different perspective. But I mean, I don't really agree though. I use my own mind. You know, I got my own opinion, and my father was in the home. Look, y'all asked me to start speaking a little more candidly on here, so I'm doing it. I bet y'all wish I would go back to not always stay in my opinion, huh? But yeah, I done been on a date with a few of them. I just be smirking like, boy, you know you be listening to them shows. My goodness, Ashley. You making this hard today, baby. You making it hard. So Ashley goes on a date with Donald. Her demeanor in this clip is totally different. Look at her face in this photo. That's what her demeanor was given. Now, granted, she was eating her food, but she was not showing the same level of interest that she normally shows with Donald. And I'm sure that it has to do with Kirsten being back in the picture. Ashley is a good example of why some women can't date multiple people. And when I say date, I'm talking about date, y'all. Going on dates. I ain't talking about friends with benefits and, you know, being exclusive. I'm not talking about that. Back in my day, dating was going on dates. I thought that's what the meaning still was. Maybe it's changed. But now the girls call it roster dating. That's not anything new. There's a lot of people that were dating until they became exclusive with a person. Ashley is a good example of women who say they can only date one person at a time, because what ends up happening is you like one of them more in the moment, and so you attach yourself to that feeling, and then the other person that you like but don't like as much, you start acting detached and uninterested when you are on dates with them, and they didn't do anything to deserve that, so it's really not fair. So that's why I understand when women say I can only date one man at a time. Now, do I recommend it? No, not really, but I understand it. I understand it. You got to know yourself. And in this situation, and being on this show in general, I don't think Ashley is really knowing herself and how she operates and how she works. And I hope this show does reveal that to her. So she's talking to Donald. She's asking him where they're going, and Donald hopes they're still moving in a positive direction. He does see a future with her in it, as long as they keep doing the things that they're doing. He's motioning, you know, he want to go keep straight down this path. He likes it. He likes her. So then she brings up that there's somebody from her past that's coming back around. To which Donald says in his confessionals, I believe Ashley is telling me this because she wants to be honest with me. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a nice thought to have, Donald. But that's not the reason Ashley is bringing it up, because in her confessionals, she says that she is looking for somebody that's going to fight for her. And then she asks Donald pretty much, now that this person is back around, what are you going to do? Like, how you feel about that? And what you going to do about it? And Donald answered correctly to me. Donald was just like, I'm going to continue doing what I do. I'm going to continue spending my time with you. It's about me and you. I'm not going to worry about him. And ultimately, it's your decision. So I'm going to keep showing up the way that I've been showing up, getting to know you, spending time with you, going on dates with you. That's what I'm going to continue to do. I didn't think that that was a bad answer because now women, ooh, child. I mean, I don't want this to be true, but sometimes men know us better than we know ourselves, huh? I think that Donald knew in that moment, and I think most men know that we're going to pick the man that we want, right? It doesn't matter if Donald goes all completely out and does way more than Kirsten. If she won't Kirsten more, she's probably going to choose Kirsten. I'm laughing because I don't want that to be true. I really don't want it to be true. But, you know, we do. We choose. We choose who we want. And I think Donald knows that. And I think a lot of other men do too. So that answer was correct. His answer was correct, if you ask me. So Ashley, she doesn't seem pleased with that answer. And then she proceeds to tell him, I just want to know if you go show me something different. Show me something besides them loafers. Oh, excuse me. Also, are we talking about mothers? That's how I felt when she said that. And then production, you ain't shit. You gonna zoom in on that man's loafers like that. Now, I don't know. We're gonna talk about the fashions in a minute. But Ashley, I don't understand why you did that. Even if you did have a problem with Donald's style or you felt like you didn't like it or whatever, that is not what the most important thing is when you are looking for something long term. When you are looking for something long term, you need to see if somebody has the same values and if you guys are compatible for the long road. I'm laughing because I'm about to get into this fashion discussion in a minute. Not they swag. Did I hear her say swag? Y'all, I'll fight everybody if she said the word swag. I'll fight all of y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Not because some of y'all look like y'all can fight. Not y'all. So now as far as fashions go, ladies, we know. Most of the time, when you dealing with a man and he really like you, he usually start to switch up his style in the relationship. Like to kind of like match, especially if you kind of got a little style about you, he started trying to match what you doing a little bit. Now, that doesn't happen every time, but I've definitely seen it happen more often than not. When I say it don't happen every time, I'm talking about myself. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute, right? So that's the first thing. You need to be looking for who's the most compatible. That's the most important thing. And Ashley, who made you the judge and jury of the fashions anyway? Like, what if Donald was to look at you and be like, well, I don't like them Eagles talons you call nails? Then you would be looking irritated. I don't think you would move to a short nail for Donald. Maybe you would, but I don't think you would. So I just didn't like the fact that she brought that up. I didn't like that they zoomed in on his shoes. Now, as far as Donald's fashions, are they... I don't know. I don't follow men's fashions that well, but I do know what the shirt that Donald has on and those loafers, it was clean in like 06, 07, 08. Maybe even a little bit of 2009. I don't know if it's still in today. I really don't know. Maybe it came back around, but you know what it was giving? The look was kind of giving a party hop on Thursday, but I'm in church with the Dapper Bros on Sunday. That's what, because all the bros used to wear them shoes to church. They used to wear them to church, and like when we started getting a little bit older, you know, like we kind of was getting out of college night, maybe like the year or two after we graduated, they would wear them to, like, you know, they might have like a more mature night at the club, but not quite for the grown people quite yet. They would wear them shoes, you know, with a little dress pant. That's what it was given. But, you know, despite if it's dated or not, it's not really the most important thing. A lot of times men will start to switch it up as they go. And let's say even if they don't, how do they make you feel? Like when I said that I've known it not to happen in my own relationship, you know, my ex, baby, you couldn't tell that man he wasn't clean. You can't tell him now he not clean. He will put on an ankle boot and a short sleeve t-shirt and some jeans in a minute, and you just be like, the top is not dressy, the shoes are. But you know what? If that's how you feel, brother, that's how you feel. And he didn't care. You know, I tried to introduce him to that man. You couldn't tell him he wasn't clean, but I'm going to tell you what. He gave me what I needed in that relationship. And after a while, I mean, there were several times where I looked at the outfit and was just like, no. But you know what? I went out, we would go out, we would have a great time. I ain't have to come out of my pocket for nothing. And I felt like I was with my friend. I had a really good time with him pretty much any time we went out. So, child, Ashley, you better get your priorities in order, or you going to be like Sharice out here with a mute mouth trying to see if he gonna spend it. Oh, I was so irritated with Ashley here. Donald asked her, this guy that came back from your past, let me ask you a question. What would he have to do to get you back? Good question, Donald. Put it back on her. And she was just like, oh, well, I'm just looking for somebody that's going to be genuine, somebody that wants her for her, somebody. And then she's looking at the energy and the vibes. Y'all know. Silliness. But Donald gonna keep doing what he doing. Ashley, you gonna keep doing what you doing, and you gonna get played if you pick Kirsten. I don't care what he's showing you. He is going to play you. That don't mean Donald couldn't, but Kirsten is a sure thing. Y'all, I've been talking a lot. This review is gonna be long. It's almost longer than the show. Okay. Zia and Cam go out. Zia looks really cute. I'm a polka dot girl, but this outfit that she has on let me know that leather she wore earlier was too hot to be wearing in Louisiana. But I like this outfit nonetheless. So it's two things that's going on here. One, I'm not sure about, and one I am sure about. What I'm sure about is I think that Cam liked Zia. I think that Cam still likes Zia. I think what F Cam up was the conversation about moving and recognizing that Zia was not going to move. He was not going to move because after the friends came to visit, that's when all of this kind of started to happen, right? The thing that I'm unsure about is if Zia is playing dumb and just wants him to outright say he wants to be done with her, like very bluntly, very plainly, without giving any type of excuses. Or if Zia really don't know what's going on, y'all, I can't call it. I really hope that it's not the second one. I have a hard time believing it only because Zia is 37. She has been dating for some time, so I would think she kind of knows what it is or what a guy is trying to do. And I'm like, is she trying to make him suffer in the house he built? Because I already told you I kind of do stuff like that. You're going to have to put it to me plain if you're ready to go, and real plain. I'm not giving you no outs. I'm just going to be looking at you like, what? What are you trying to say? Y'all, I wasn't always this kind of woman. I really wasn't. I wasn't even into playing games at all. I was created in a lab in Houston, Texas. A couple years ago. I really used to be so sweet, so kind, so genuine, so unassuming. But I've changed. And I don't know if I could ever be revert back to my original form. Now, moving forward. So in this date, Zia tells Cam that she's been going on dates with other guys because that's how Tamika's been setting it up. Some guys from the past. Cam asked how she feel about that, and she was like, well, I don't know. I already feel like I've landed where I want to be. This man gonna say, really? I feel like you should enjoy the process. Just go ahead and date, because what else are you gonna do with your free time? Zia is hoping that they could go out more. And he was like, oh, no. We ain't going out more. I've already put stuff to the side just to come out here, just to be out here for you. I'm still showing up for you. Cam, this is ticking me off. Now, I've already went in, so I'm going to try not to go in again. This is step 2 or step 3? This is step 3 of Cam trying to exit quietly, but still exit as the nice guy. See, this is the thing. This is why I went off last week. I'm going to try to explain myself a little bit better, but maybe y'all understood last week. But my issue is part of dating is experiencing rejection and also having to reject somebody. If you're not compatible, if things aren't going well or going the way you want them to go, that has to happen. And you learn and you grow from it, whether you are the rejector or you are the rejectee. Is that right? Is that how? Whether you're the one experiencing the rejection or you're the one doing the rejecting, I'm not saying it's easy for either person. But my problem is I don't like when somebody won't just outright tell me they want to go. and not worry about what I think about them in my head. You don't need to worry about what she thinks about you, Cam. You're trying to exit still as the thoughtful guy, the kind guy, the guy who showed up. That shouldn't matter anymore because you guys are not compatible and you're going your own way. The only time you care about what somebody thinks of you in their head, in my opinion, is if you want to try to come back around or if you want to see what's up later. And to me, I just don't think that's right to do to a person. You need to be blunt. You need to be plain. You ain't got to be rude, but you need to just say what it is and put it on yourself. Don't put it on me. Don't say, well, because I'm trying to do this for you, or I'm trying to be about this for you, and I'm trying to make it so that I can do such and such later for you. He's talking about he's like a year out from really being able to do certain things and all this. Okay, fine. Say, I don't have the time right now to date the way I need to date. I like you. I probably should have thought about this before I got into this process, but you know what? I need to go. And it's really all on me. It's nothing that you did, and it's nothing that you can do. But stop putting some hope on the back end. Oh, like, I'm still hoping that I'm still hoping that I can do, and maybe we can move slow, or maybe I can still show you around. No, leave. And be plain about it. Reject me and be plain about it. I know that people would think that women don't experience rejection. I can't speak for other women, I guess, but I've experienced plenty of rejection. I've had guys reject me. I've had guys tell me we're not compatible. I've had somebody I was actually with have a full baby on me. I've experienced plenty of rejection. And the only difference is I think men experience a lot of in-your-face rejection. Like, can I have your number? No. Can we go out next week? Hell no, right? And women, when we experience rejection, it's usually after we have already gotten to know somebody. So, our rejection had you feeling a little snappish. But I've been ghosted. And men experience that type of rejection too. I was just explaining like why sometimes it feels a little bit different. But yeah, it's just a part of it. And just do it, Cam. Like, I'm tired of you. That's why I was getting aggravated last week. So first, he wasn't going to show up to that party. Second, he tried to tell her, but he didn't take his out. And that's your fault, Cam, for not taking it out. And now what he's doing is trying to irritate her into breaking up with him. It's not going to work. I don't know if Zia is not seeing it or if she is seeing it and she just don't care. I can't really call it. But I think now if she was going to do it, right now at this dinner would have been the time because she already had a good time with Richard. So why not go out with him? Right now at this dinner would have been the time to make the decision to go another direction, which I hope she ends up doing. Child, this date was so dull. I had completely forgot about it. I skipped it. Nick and Sharice go on a date. It wasn't really much going on. They were trying to get to know a little bit more about each other. At least Nick was trying to get to know more about Sharice because they've already talked about traveling. So let's talk about a few more things. All I got out of this date is that Nick hasn't done a lot in New Orleans since he's lived there. He's never been on a streetcar. He was mentioning dates he could take Sharice on, but it was to places that he had never been. So I guess they gonna explore new stuff together. It don't even matter, child, because Sharice is back with mute mouth Maurice, and Nick is about to be a thing of the past. Let's move on. I barely remember Tari and Vernisha's date, and I didn't take any notes, and I'm not going back to watch it again. So, but what I do remember is they talked about their spirituality. She was really happy to find out that he was a believer in God. And Vernisha discusses what she's ready to change to be in a relationship. She knows that she's going to have to do some compromising on her end. And she's just ready to make the adjustments needed for her person, to be with her person. He's relieved about that. He said he don't know. He's sweating bullets every time that they have some type of elimination. So he is relieved to know that she does like him and that she does see something going on with them. I'm glad Tari is not being as jokey as he was in the beginning, and it seems like he's loosening up. Although I don't really see any strong chemistry between him and Vernisha still. That's the only part I'm worried about. But yeah, child, let's get to the end of the show. All right, y'all. We have finally made it to the end of the episode, and Tamika is meeting with the ladies to discuss how the week has gone, how their dates have gone. We find out that Sharice really enjoyed her time with mute mouth Maurice. And she's really glad to have gotten back in touch with him. Vernisha has enjoyed her time with Tari. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on everything Vernisha did this episode. I really am. I'm sorry, y'all. Zadia, who I can't call it if she playing dumb or if she know what's going on. But Zadia tells Tamika about the sudden change of heart in Cam. And Ashley says that she is wanting her and Donald to get a little bit more connected. But she was glad to see Kirsten again. They got on the same page about everything, even though they had the trouble on a couple of weeks ago. Tamika is proud of how Ashley has grown. However, Tamika, you know Ashley still got a lot of work to do. But okay. Zadia makes the comment that she's not really sure about this sudden change of heart in Cam. He seems to want her to just go through with the process. She did enjoy her time on the date with the other guy. The ladies kind of chime in, and Sharice and I are on the same page. Sharice is just like, I just kind of feel like he's making excuses. And if you were going to come out here and do that and say you didn't have time, what did you come out here to do in the first place? Ashley, who has 6 brothers, we find out, so she tries to understand a little bit more of what the men may be going through. Ashley, you got 6 brothers, and they obviously didn't teach you nothing, because out of everybody on this show, including Sharice, you are the one who we are really looking at like we ain't sure what's going on with you, baby. So them brothers didn't give you the game like they thought, like you may have thought they gave you the game. So then we move on, and they go on the dates. We decide who's getting kept, who's not getting kept. Tamika has a conversation with Cam, and I was feeling the conversation at first, because Tamika was like, keep it real with me, Cam. Now, you talking about you ain't got time. That don't sound right to me. You talking about you bit off more than you could chew. That don't sound right to me, because we were clear about the process. So what is it really? Either you're stringing her along, or you falling for her and you scared. I was just like, not number 2. Not number 2. I hate to sound cold-hearted, but Tamika, stop it. Stop right now. Cam genuinely looks like he doesn't feel like he's doing that. He was like, stringing her along. No, I told her. You did tell her, Cam, but when you had the out to leave her alone, you didn't take it. You decided to stay there because, like I said, I think you like her, but I also think you know this ain't gonna work. And instead of completely letting it go, I understand where his mind is. And instead of completely letting it go, you just going to play around with it until she get pissed off at you and sends you on your way. But she tells him, you need to really be clear with her about what you want to do. I think Cam is tipsy at this point. I think he's had a couple of, dirty martinis. And when he sits back down with Zadia, he back to himself, y'all. He back to playful Cam, complimenting Cam, talking about, I'm focused on right now. Like, I'm worried about the future when it's really about the present. I said, no, because he about to do something. It's some kind of reverse psychology going on. And I don't need to step away from you just because I have that fear. This all sounds good. It all sounds good. But I guarantee you next week he's going to feel the exact same way he felt before he had the martinis. Zadia, go and send him home. I'm not playing. Go ahead and send him home. Oh, y'all. But all in all, Ashley decides to keep Donald around. I thought she was about to let him go. She's going to keep Donald around. She's hoping they can get into a little bit more next week, y'all. I'm about to cringe at whatever's about to happen next week. Y'all saw the previews. Vernisha is going to keep Tabari around. Sharice, did we see who she kept around? I think she's going to keep Maurice, so it doesn't really matter. We already know she's going to keep Maurice, and she's going to send Nick on his way. And, they left us on a cliffhanger about Zadia. So, y'all let me know what you think. This review is long enough. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.